Start recording.
Start broadcasting.
Start broadcasting.
Find chat.
Find the chat. Do we have a chat? We got a chat. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Shanhagen's Live on this Wednesday day.
Of the 18th?
Sure. Wait,
19th?
Really? 19th? Is it 19th? All I know is, man, April is going by in a blur.
Let me open the chat again.
It is April, right? No, it's March. March,
No,
May,
it's April.
April.
You're in a huge
Cool. Welcome to this April, whatever, Wednesday. We got Katie here. I'm over here.
Hello.
We're going to talk about stuff. How you guys doing? You can find out. You want to talk to us, you can open up the chats on Ustream. And you can talk to us live. We got Black Ice Angel here saying you remembered my password.
Hooray.
I don't think that's in reference to us. That's from a while back. We got In This Talks. We got Chris the host. We got Kellhound. We got Chris the host.
What is
We got In
up?
This Talks. Rockin'.
Hello,
We got a good crew. Well, we just got back from Chicago.
Yeah, we did.
Hi, everyone.
We're back.
We're back in Toronto. We were at C2E2 this past weekend, the Chicago Comic Entertainment Expo going on, which is crazy because in Toronto, Wizard Comic Con, Wizard World was happening, and we just like booked it out of town. We're like, no, we're going to Chicago for cons.
We booked this long in advance, and Mistake is saying a new angle. Yes, I'm probably going to be here until the end, like TCAF, just because I have deadline.
Yeah, for like TCAF is in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
my deadline is in 2 weeks, so I'm going to be storyboarding.
So we're just
24/7.
gonna stick on Katie Cam for these next few episodes, just because usually we have this camera's used for the close-up shots of Kay's work, but she's working on
Work.
TV stuff, so we
Unfortunately,
can't
I
really
cannot
show
share,
that. So but she'll be busy on that. We C2E2 says in his talks, yes, we were there. It was fun times. I haven't really posted anything about that yet. I'm debating.
I did. If
You
you
did?
go to my blog, katieshai.blogspot.com, or to my Tumblr, about the same, Katie Shai, I have just a really quick recap. I put a link to your Talking to the Microphone.
Oh yeah, we did a podcast about
Saturday
it.
night we did a podcast with our table buddies, Gene Kang and Alex Klinkingbeard, which was a lot of fun. And then I was part of the Womanthology anthology panel, which was on the Saturday. So I have a link to a progressively aggressive podcast who covered that, and then they interviewed me and Gene afterwards.
Cool.
So that's 3 links you can check out if you're curious about what we were up to in Chicago.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk too much about it just because the podcast covered mostly
The
Dave.
podcast is good. I really recommend it.
It's one of the longer ones.
There
It's
were
like an
some
hour
things
40.
you said that made me cry with the laughing. I think the Nyan Cat bit, like I lost.
For some reason, you love that so much.
It's just you're so crazy when you do. Like I'm picturing the scene and everything.
Yeah, it's quite an enjoyable podcast.
Oh,
You can learn about all the.
It's great. You can learn about Womanthology. You can learn about C2E2 and how not to be creepy in Artist Alley.
At Artist Alley. So I'm not going to cover any of that today just because we could talk about stuff that happened after the con.
Yeah.
Which is fun too. But just to give you a general idea, check the podcast out after this. So type in Talking to the Microphone, MICROMAPHONE, Microphone.
If that's too tricky, go to my blog, katieshai.blogspot, and just my latest post will link to that.
We talk all about arriving in Chicago. We stayed there for a whole day. We didn't actually talk about the deep dish pizza, though, too much, did we? Where did we go? We went to
Giovanni's? Which every time I mention it, people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We put it up to Twitter. We need
Giordano's? Something like that.
That might have been, yeah.
Like it's you always wonder when you travel to like the city that's like well known for a certain type of food. Do you try to find like the mom and pop, like the original? We made the original here, kind of place, or do you just like go wherever?
Or it's really good.
And so we went kind of wherever. It's kind of like that kind of family friendly restaurant. There's a ton of kids and stuff there. But the highlight, I feel like I might mention this, or at least I tell this to everyone. It's we open the menu, and it's like deep dish pizzas or pie as they call it, and
it's a pie.
And here it makes sense. Like finally, the term pizza pie makes sense to me when you're in Chicago, or at least you get the deep dish. And it's said on the menu, it's like be aware that it's going to take like 35 minutes to make this pizza. And I said, good.
Yes.
I want it take an hour if you wish. I want this pizza to be as much effort and time needed. Because after going to New York, as I tell everyone, and I'm like, oh, America and pizza, and they're all about it. And I we look for like the most, like mom and pop ish pizza shop, no name brand, and we're like, oh, we'll have pizza, and they're like, okay, and they go into the freezer and pull out the pre-frozen dough, and I'm like, no, wrong.
I think you and I both got suckered in
we
New
got
York's little
owned.
Italy.
We got owned by New York.
We had really bad food there too.
No good.
I'm sure there's amazing food there somewhere,
No.
but no one would direct us.
We went to like
You didn't help us.
what's that place called? There's it's kind of like that Italian buffet style stuff. We have like some of them in our malls actually. I cannot I cannot remember. It's not really a buffet, but it's kind of like, you know, there's in the window they have like little, you know, like kind of like cafeteria style, like you ask for this and this and this, and I cannot remember the name of it. Either way, we just kept going to those when I was in New York. But here, we got the deep dish, and it was fantastic.
Oh,
it was cheesy. It was like a pie. It was perfect.
It was so. They
was
know
very
though.
filling.
You go in and like buy the maitre d's table or buy the cash. There's like just stacks and stacks of styrofoam to take home.
Oh yeah, because they know you're not going to finish. Like there's so much take home. Not Olive Garden. I cannot. It's like something I knows. Something I knows.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Maybe no. It's not
Mario.
No, it's not. Gosh, I can't remember. It's not like a sit-in restaurant really. It's kind of like, but it can be. It's in Eaton Center, downstairs. And it's like you could get pizza there, and you could get pasta.
Pizza.
No.
Pizza.
No. Sbarro.
Okay.
This guy knows.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, Sbarro's. Like when I was in New York, I just kept going to Sbarro's because at least it was reliable.
Yeah, that's like when we were in New York, we went to Harvey's, and I was so disappointed. No, Burger King, and I was like, "What do you mean you don't have poutine here?" And then I remembered, I'm not.
I almost got thrown because I was not thrown by a person, but like my mind, because I was at a McDonald's at the airport in Chicago, and I'm like looking at the McFlurries, and they're like, "Oh, we have Oreo and M&M." I'm like, "Where's the Smarties?" And I'm like, "Oh, they don't believe in Smarties chocolates here." Right, it doesn't exist. So
What, really?
Yeah, they don't have Smarties
Do you
in the
guys not have
States.
Smarties
No.
in the States?
Maybe not in like the East
Americans,
Coast.
sound off. Where are your Smarties?
Do you guys have Smarties?
Are we just
The
like-
favorite chocolate treat?
Chris
Well-
says they have Smarties, but you're Canadian, so you
Yeah, you're a
can't say.
liar and a thief.
They are our rockets. Oh no.
Rockets.
Says Black Ice
Our
Eagle.
rockets suck. Our rockets are powdery,
No Smarties.
teeth
Ah,
cavity sugar crap
I see.
that,
So you
that
don't even
kids
get
in grade school
Smarties
crushed
or
up and snorted.
Smarties. I should bring these
Anyway.
when we go visit.
What? Smarties? Smarties and coffee crisp.
Smarties are sugar candies here. Oh, that's what he meant. They're our rockets.
Yeah, our rockets suck. Wait, no. Maybe
Okay.
the rockets are named
so your
Smarties?
You know,
Or
rockets for us,
they're Smarties are
called
named
Smarties.
rockets.
So they're not chocolate coated.
Oh, our rockets suck, though.
Yeah,
our rockets is that powdery,
and
crappy
okay,
sugar.
Okay, Callahan. In the U.S., Smarties are like a sweet tart
I hate
candy.
sweet tart candies.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Ours are chocolate coated.
Yeah, they're the best. Smarties?
They
Save the
melt in
red
your
ones
mouth with
last.
your hands.
All that good stuff. Either way, we're going way too deep into food and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so I am pleased to announce I am pleased with Chicago.
Well done.
Lovely town. As I tell everyone,
It's a
it's
beautiful
like
town.
Toronto, but done right.
It's like Toronto if they decided to open up that you
Yeah.
can actually get to the waterfront and not stick a giant highway.
Yeah, no, they really design it. Like honestly, as I tell everyone, I'm like, you go to like the water side, like by the lake or whatever it is, and it's like you're in the game Myst from the PC. Like you see these like aquariums and stuff and Ferris wheels and magical, and there's nobody around for some reason in certain places. So you're like in this desolate, quiet, beautiful world, trying to figure out why you're there. And my solution was the deep dish. I was like, how Myst ended for me.
Yeah.
It's like you open the book and the two brothers are like, don't trust this brother. And I'm like, but you told me we're good deep dishes.
Yeah, it was
And,
just really pretty. Like we ended up just we came out of the hotel and we kind of wandered down to Soldiers Field, so it's just
Yeah.
this empty stadium area and so many pathways and then there's the waterfront and the aquarium, and it was a beautiful
Yeah,
day.
and
It was
there's
just
once again like a
gorgeous.
Ferris wheel off the pier, like far away. It was just such like a magical town in a weird way, and very nice time. Happy I went. I don't know if it's like I don't want to say if it's my favorite American city so far, but definitely it's celebrates the public space more than any city I've been to. Like Seattle does it a little, but these guys like love public space. Like even where the bean is, that big metal reflective bean in the middle of the downtown.
Yeah.
Like what? Why? Why have that?
Why?
Because
That's fun.
there you go. And then near the bean is this like Quidditch field with all these like bars and lights hanging, and that at the end of that is a downhill slope of stadium seating leading to an outdoor concert venue. I'm like, this town is nuts. Like their design and architecture is jaw-dropping how much effort and care they put into it, and not even care as in like delicate, but just like they cared to do it. You know, whereas Toronto, like, we can't even get our harborfront fixed up because, like, it's like, let's have subways. I'm like, ugh. You know, there's something, it has character. The city is just full of character. Mm-hmm. So Chicago, good times.
Thank you, Chicago. We had a really great time.
Yeah, I recommend it. You know, I don't know if I'd go there just for a holiday because I don't, you know, Segway tour is about the only thing I didn't do.
Yeah. Well, while we were in the con all weekend, Jerry actually got to wander around and visit all the sites, and he came back like, I could live here.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to figure out, like, would it make sense to move to Chicago?
Yeah, like, what is the animation industry in Chicago? Like,
I don't know if there's a big, there might be, like, a game industry there.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know.
They had a bunch of comic shops, but most of them are uptown, like, north of the Loop. So we only found one by mistake, Graham Crackers Comics. We just kind of tumbled upon. And where we saw a copy of Womanthology on the shelf, which was nice. That was awfully nice to have that. Yeah, you know, right there. And some guy was doing like a guest signing thing. I don't know who he was. He's some Batman artist from whenever.
From back in the day.
Sure. You know. Canada has peanut butter M&Ms.
That we do.
Is it peanut butter or peanut? Because I know we have peanut. Oh, peanut butter? Well, everyone has the peanut, because that's the yellow dude, right? He's like, I don't know, red guy.
The guy with the monocle?
No, he's an M&M.
Oh, it's not Mr. Peanut?
No, that's Mr. Peanuts.
Okay.
Let's see, when you're back home, Reese's Pieces are like, man, there's a lot of talk. When it comes to like culture, candy and food is a big deal. So if you're coming up for TCAF in 2 weeks...
candy.
Well, we're going to tell you what candy you're supposed to get, because you can get your Kinder Surprises here, where it's legal to hide candy and food in Canada.
I should ask too, do we have any of our Australian friends watching? Because
do we?
I have some Australians coming to visit us for
and we want some Bundy.
And they said they're bringing, what the heck is it? Tim Tams.
We have those here.
Yeah, that's what I figured. We have Tim Tams to have.
I found them. They're at Sobeys.
Okay, we bought. What should I ask them to bring? I want, like, just candy you can't find anywhere else.
What, from Australia?
Yeah.
Isn't it like...
And
wait,
you're in Canada now, right?
Does
So
Australia have the same chocolate as, like, England? Because then we should get the double-decker. But then we could just go to the novelty chocolate shops and get... Because we do have those British chocolate shops all around Toronto. They're like...
Oh, we have Airheads.
We have stupid cup. That's expensive. Like, if you go to the UK, their concept... When we say Cadbury bar, we just get the basic chocolate. And milk chocolate, it's like lumpy, ta-da. When we go to like the festivals at the exhibition, it has like international chocolates. It's like there's the Crunch Bar Cadbury bar, which is basically a Cadbury bar but filled with Crunch Bar, and then there's the Turkish Delight, which is basically filled with those gummy feet but it's chocolate covered, and it's like so weird.
Okay, I got Anzac biscuits.
Anzac biscuits.
That sounds kind of dangerous.
Anzac. Don't travel with it. But yeah, food is definitely like an exciting part of traveling. So like
we get Three Musketeer bars here too, Cal.
Yeah, I know. I think the problem is like since the borders have opened.
This is a candy episode.
Since the candy borders had opened, it's kind of the same deal like when manga became mainstream and then you could find the stuff everywhere. The conventions were less special for the shopping because it's like, oh, this is at all my stores, So it's kind of like the same with chocolate. It's like the borders open and now it's like, oh, we have everything, we're good.
Okay, chocolate ripple cake.
Who's gonna bring a cake on the plane?
Can they make me cake? Well, I don't know. Who's gonna send cookies in the mail in this? Those were delicious, by the way. Thank you.
So, once again, for the remainder, I'm not gonna talk about day 1 and 2 of the con. So, if you want to find out, go look up Talking to the Microphone, or go on Katie's blog, or go to Uber Friendship. Anything that we have done will have something connecting to
an hour just to listen to
the podcast.
4 people geek out about stuff.
So that's day 1 and 2. And day 3 was cool. It was kind of the last day.
Yeah, day 3 was pretty chill.
Day 3 was, I guess I gotta preface my stories for day 3. So on the Saturday, I didn't really talk about this on the podcast, I don't think. On the Saturday, I went to a panel for, if anyone knows the comic Kill Shakespeare. I'll give you a moment as I look up my stuff. Co-created by Anthony Del Cole. And he was running this panel about comics and like how to talk to publishers and just how to promote your book and stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't really go to any panels that weekend, and I was like thinking, should I go to the Anthony Daniels one because he was there? But I went to this one, and I'm so happy I did because it's kind of like I learned so much. In a weird way, there's certain things you already know, but you just need to be told again sometimes just to reinforce it. Because I have this like phrase coming up in my mind.
I just have to say quickly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we bought 15. If you do come to TCAP, bring some Anzacs. That would be awesome. Okay, thank you. Sorry, continue. And we're looking forward to seeing you at TCAP. Because, yes, sorry, we have a table on the Sunday. Okay, so, yes.
Sorry,
continue.
No, keep going. I'm good.
That was it. I just knew the chat.
I was just going to tell you my inspiring story, but hey, chocolate's great.
I just wanted to say it.
So double-decker chocolate's also good.
So he went
Fudgeums
to
are great.
Came back with an amazing see-through card, and he was just glowing.
Well, no, it's because the guy was like basically dropping science, and like his background and him and his co-creator, like they were actually from business courses. They weren't comic, like they weren't like animators or like anything like that. Like they came from business class, so they knew how to approach business. So when selling their comic,
really good.
they kind of took a bit of a different, or used their business knowledge, and like a lot of it was actually a cold calling. Because one thing he brought up, the one thing that was kind of new to me, which stood out, because also we haven't really considered approaching any actual publishers yet. Like down the line, definitely, but at the moment, it's not really a goal to like get our book in a publisher's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're just kind of doing.
Well, we kind of figured what we want to do is make enough. We do want to eventually make Silly Kingdom like a book, but
Yeah.
we want to start with like kind of the digest format, so we can get them out to you guys, and then, you know, hopefully, like a publisher would like what we've done enough to produce a book that we could maybe do in color.
Yeah,
at some
maybe.
point. Like these are just ideas we're coming up with.
But the thing he was saying was interesting to me was he said when you go to a publisher nowadays, you have to tell them how you're going to sell the book.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like, oh, hey, Marvel got my book. Well, maybe Marvel's a bad example. Like, in his case, let's say IDW or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
They got my book. Now they're going to, like, put the ads in all the magazines, and I'm good to go. I'm just going to work on the comic. No.
Mm-hmm.
They want you, since you have access to social medias and stuff, to tell them how you're going to get the word out there, too. So it's really interesting that it's... Someone's asking if you're quiet, so you got to speak up.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, the mic's over.
Well, also, Katie needs to speak
Also, I'm a
up.
low talker.
I'm a loud talker. I'm always positioned close to the mic, weirdly enough.
Just pretend everything I've set up till
If I
now
could
has
just
been
arc this
amazing.
mic above and aim it at you.
Yeah, can you do that?
Am I still picking up? Yeah, definitely. Is Katie picking up?
Yeah.
No?
No? Okay. Anyway, you're the
So basically, they want to know, a publisher wants to know how you are going to sell your comic. And what they did was then, he didn't give us all examples, but two of them he did was, one, they called up like 700 distributors and shops in North America and the UK to tell them about their book. Mm-hmm. Like, they literally did the cold calls. They got on the phone and said, hey, Kill Shakespeare is about this and this and this. I'll get into the about stuff in a bit. Mm-hmm. So they basically like called everyone, and that got them interested. Maybe it got them a bunch more sales. Who knows? They didn't have the numbers on it, but the point was they went out of their way. In addition to that, they also personalized emails to like even more distributors and stuff from around the world, saying this is our new book. It's coming out.
Personalization is key because like I'll
Yeah.
get emails a lot of time that feel like they've just been sent out mass.
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
everyone, and I will not respond to them because I'm just.
Well, if I ever get anything
even
like
take the time to spell my name right, why should
yeah,
I?
if I ever get anything in my inbox on YouTube that's like, I love your videos, check out this one. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah. You got the one that was, I like Crazy Kingdom, want to do an interview. You can't take the second to like.
Oh well, yeah,
research.
that one kind of. Well, that wasn't to my YouTube, but like, is that not a genuine question from that one? 'Cause it's like, well, the comic isn't called Crazy Kingdom, and
Yeah. It's like I will take a second to research, but.
yeah. But yeah, it's basically as a creator, you're now also a publicist, and this also kind of ties back to my theories and stuff of even web videos and things. It's like you can't just make the content; you also have to be the promotion as well as the promotion community are kind of two different things. Because promotion is just like getting the word out there. Community is an interaction, but it's not enough to be a creator anymore when it comes to comics. And me saying this, you might be thinking, yeah, duh. Like, it sounds like it makes sense. But it's like, it's something that you're not exactly thinking about when you're on the creator side. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm going to make a comic, tell people about it, we're good to go. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's interesting. I'm just going to turn my volume down because I look like I'm peeking.
Sorry, I can just maybe put it here.
I'll just lean back over here a little. Out of frame.
Let's go out of frame.
As long as I'm not destroying you guys, it's good. But so that's just something that kind of stood out. What was the other thing he said that was huge? Okay. Now when it comes to promoting your books and your comics, I'm not gonna tell you everything because I took some notes, but I didn't get them all. He said there's kind of three main things with selling your book. There's the elevator pitch. So picture this: like you're at a con, and you got in the elevator, and Alan Moore comes up, and he's like, oh, and he gets in the elevator, and he's like, 13th floor, please. I know it doesn't exist. That's why I'm going there.
That's amazing.
You know, and so he's going to 13th floor, and you're going to the 27th. And you're like, holy balls, Alan Moore's in the elevator, or whoever. Just replace him with it. It could be
Marvel recruiter C.V.
Sebowski, who's like, no.
And British.
I'm going to the 14th floor because I know it does exist, and Marvel deals in finites.
I want to give you a lady name so you can just do this again.
Meryl Dubois.
Gail Simone, writer for Marvel and other things. I love
I've got a bit of a sore throat today, my duckies.
And she's British. All of a sudden.
Alright, so in any case, your chance shows up in your elevator, and you only got 30 seconds to sell them your comic. What do you say to them? And this is definitely something that I had to work on, because I'm not... I'm going to go into more depth on this in an article I want to work on, but I am not good at selling things quickly, like summoning it down to his core, because what he did for Kill Shakespeare is he basically said Shakespeare's greatest heroes and villains battle for, and he said something else, blah blah blah. It was great. Whatever it was, but it basically sold the idea. You know, so Shakespeare's greatest heroes and villains face off to save something or other. I forget what the last part is. It's nothing against his sell. It's just I'm bad at my memory. So that's cool, and I come from like a radio and television background and school, and like I already know all this stuff, but I had to be told again, you know, because like I didn't really think about it. And my original pitch for Still the Kingdom, like I'd be like, you know, well, it's about, you know, it's what was my original pitch? Because I think the original pitch is basically what's on the back. So it's the Grumpy Old Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday. Normally this would be no big deal. I don't say it like a jackass, but it sounds like that to me now that I have a better pitch. Normally this would be no big deal as no one likes him, but this generation of young royals will change all that by throwing him a special surprise party. However, when the birthday, now Alan Moore's already got off the elevator.
Yeah, he's
because he's like, no, it's the 13th floor. He just kind of phases through the door. Okay.
Yeah. You missed your chance.
So I missed my chance because I'm blabbering on. Like, this whole thing, this is too long. And this is why this panel was so inspiring to me. Because I'm like, I started that night after the panel, I rethought, like, a good chunk of everything I was doing. So I sat there, I was trying to think, I'll go into this actually a little more later. Second thing he said was then, you know, if Alan Moore, after you give him your solid elevator pitch, or to whoever, your representative, and he's like, actually, I don't want to go to the 13th floor no more. I want to know the rest of your story. And then that's when you go more into depth and be like, okay, well, you see there's a kingdom, and it's quite silly, and there's a princess, and there's a wizard, and he does this, and there's cake and stuff, and he's like, oh, it's amazing. You know, so that's the second thing. The third thing is they're going to then kind of want to know, tonally, the cross-sell. What is it this meets that? And in my mind, I always kind of felt like cross-sells were kind of a tacky thing, because it's like you're trying to sell it based on the merits of other pre-existing stories. Like, it's like Harry Potter and this thing and that.
Yeah, it helps people tie it to something that exists. Yeah. So they know what they can easily picture what it is, versus you saying it's a humor. It's like, well, what kind of humor?
Yeah, because I'm like, it's a humor fantasy is kind of like genre.
Is it like a Harold Kumar humor? Is it like a,
you know, or is it like
humor?
My Fair?
Is it a South Park humor? Is it,
what was that comedy that came out that had the guy who played Green Goblin? And it's like knights and stuff, and what's her face is in it? Natalie Portman, or no? It was a medieval story. It's like
First Night.
Yeah, no. Oh, Natalie Portman is in it, I think. And it's like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's like kind of like
it was like
medieval fart humor.
Medieval.
Yeah. You know, just like Game of Thrones, medieval fart humor.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. Game of Thrones.
So, you know, it's basically, so I kind of had to kind of get over the idea of being like worried that's like me cross-selling a book. It feels like a tacky kind of like, oh, it's like Twilight meets this, that. But because it basically gives people Your Highness, thank you. Tonally gives you the idea of what your book is basically kind of like. So after all that, there's a lot more in it, and actually to add to the coolness, dude's from Toronto. Anthony, I'm not sure if his co-creators also, because I didn't research any further than that. But I know vaguely where he lives. A bunch of my friends live in his area. And I'm like, and he made kind of a deal about people being from Toronto at the panel. Like, people in the back right were from Toronto, and then I was the only guy in the left half of him from Toronto, but he didn't believe me. He said I just wanted our health care. I'm like, no, dude, I'm from Toronto.
Oh, really?
But anyway, it doesn't matter. Because I went, woo!
He was like, you clearly are American.
Yeah, you swine.
With your top hat.
I didn't have the top hat. Yeah, that's a different story.
Okay.
So going back into the book, since this is a program about learning, Silly Kingdom, I sat there that night, Saturday night. I just sat there and tried to rethink everything. So I'm like, how can I sell this title?
It was funny because you were rooming with our table buddies, and they said that they kept hearing you muttering to yourself. Like,
really?
I don't know, like, during that evening, but during the day at the table, you'd be like,
yeah. No, I was practicing all day how to sell this book. Because I'm just like, I do want to kind of get into this on a separate article, because I don't want to go too deep, because this is my deep thoughts. But the truth of the matter is, as far as Silly Kingdom goes, I've never truly had to sell it. Because the people who are our audience to purchase it kind of purchased it out of good faith.
Yeah,
because
it was
like,
who knew us.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, these two who worked on comics and videos and stuff I watch and read, they made a book, and no one actually had to go to me and be like, well, what's it about?
Yeah.
So, like, I never had to do the pitch. I never had to do the elevator pitch, or the long pitch, or the cross-sell. This is nothing I ever had to do. Mm-hmm. And even at previous cons, I let you do all the talking. I'm just like, buy this book.
Yeah.
I'm just here. But then, like, now that I was running the table, because Katie's at a panel, I'm like, I'm trying to sell this book to people who don't know us at all, and it was difficult. Listen to the podcast for more reasons why it may have been difficult.
How difficult it is.
But, generally, it was...
many mothers.
Friday and Saturday, though, it was kind of hard for me to sell to people who didn't know us. And so I had to, like, majorly rethink this, because, like, we kind of... I say we kind of came from, like, a bit of like a advantage, or like a spoiled selling. I mean spoiled as in like we had like all the benefits, because we never had to really like explain to anyone, this is what it's about, this is why you should like it. So this is something I had to really rethink. So now I'm trying to shorten the elevator pitch, which I got down to what did I get down to, because now I'm forgetting, because I'm like thinking about everything. I know it's the Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday. So you're looking at it. Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday. But when he finds out, plans for a surprise party, he'll do everything in his power to stop it. Because he's a jerk. Or something like that. Sometimes I added that at the end, sometimes I didn't.
That usually gets a chuckle out of people.
Usually does, because when I add that the wizard's a jerk, I actually sold it to a guy, because he's like, I'm also a jerk. And so I appealed to his inner jerk.
That's so good.
And got a sale.
Wow.
So that's kind of the cross pitch, and like I'm even thinking of how to make it shorter. But everything here, this is like 2 paragraphs of information, or like at least 2 really long sentences, and I just shrunk it down to even shorter. It's Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday, but when he discovers a plan for a surprise party, he'll do everything in his power to stop it, because he's a jerk. I believe that's Silly Kingdom. Now, why I had so much problem figuring this out was, even in the first place, was I was more interested in explaining the whole world, because this, of all the books, is kind of like the lead up. Like, we're introducing all the characters.
It can stand alone, but it is very much just like who everybody is, how they relate to each other. Yeah.
So, like, the problem with me trying to explain it was I was always thinking of it more as an overall world thing. I was trying to think of it as, it's about a kingdom where there's a princess and a prince and a jester, and the prince is, like, always power hungry, and the princess is really kind and research.
Yeah, the kingdom is quite silly.
Yeah, and it was always too long, and I kind of forgot to sell it based on the individual story. Like, I was trying to sell it as a series that didn't exist yet, versus, like, it's like trying to sell The Simpsons as a series versus the episode where the Big Rice Krispie Square gets bitten.
Yeah.
I had to learn to focus on the episode. So this is all in the learning. Mm-hmm. Now my question to you guys who have read it. Sorry if I'm going on a little long about this, but this is a learning show. What would you cross sell this book as? Because the problem I was coming into is like we're thinking our influences and inspirations are kind of obscure for the mass audience. Like we would say like Asterix and Obelix.
I say Asterix because I know that's more or less what I'd like it to be like, where it's like you have a cast of characters that are pretty distinct, and then you just throw them in, like, which is like a lot of stories, but you just kind of, that one's also more historic and magical. I don't know. I mean, in tone, I just kind of associated more with Asterix, where I just wanted to put out like a whole bunch of just.
It's kind of like it's based in a period,
it's
and
silly,
it's kind of fantastical.
It's fun.
And there's like angry characters, but like no one really gets hurt, even though there's swords and magic. And I do feel tonally,
you know
it
what?
is very
it's like
much.
No one will really die. Like there'll be a lot of fighting in Asterix, then it's like they're just carting away all the Roman soldiers.
They'll just be all kind of beat up. There's really no death, and I feel like I do the same thing here. Like there will be in the backstory, we're going to find out some things, but like I don't feel like there's going to be any like.
Yeah, it's not a.
It's
there's
silliness.
no violence in it.
But
it's
I
a fun
worry
story.
is Asterix and Obelix well known enough that we could say that at a con for like mom and pop walking by, or it's tricky because even that's not even a cross sell though. That's just it's like Asterix.
Yeah.
What's the other half of
it? What if you
it?
don't know what Asterix is?
And the other thing is like we love Terry Pratchett's work of Discworld, and we feel like there's a lot of that in this too. Kind of like if you like Hitchhiker's Guide, it's kind of like British comedy. Silliness based in a world, and like Discworld is a fantastical place. But like, even that, like the guy Anthony from Kill Shakespeare didn't know Discworld,
Which
so I'm like, I can't cross sell it like that.
You need to have different cross sells for different crowds.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to people who are comic people, I can say, Asterix and
Asterix. Who's French here?
Asterix.
Asterix.
And I said Archie at first because sometimes people go, "Oh, this guy kind of looks like Jughead."
They see like the Prince and Marcus, and they're like, "It's Jughead and Reggie."
Archie's was an early influence, but I mean, it's
like look at these two. Like tell me, like there's a bit of like a Jughead Reggie thing there if you want it to be.
So I say Archie just because people know Archie, but I don't want to say.
But it's story wise, Archie's more about like relationships or the random heist.
Yeah, maybe
like that's kind of all there is to Archie.
Maybe this is kind of like that.
But it's not. Because there's no
relationship.
Well, there's no relationship. Not like when I say relationships, I mean like hounding women.
The thing is, when I say Archie, I'm like
and
the weird three-way relationship.
Well, Archie's like the biggest.
As a kid, but then I was like, huh?
Archie's like the biggest PG, family-friendly horror in comics because he's like there'll be a comic where it's like him, Betty, and Veronica at the beach, and they're like, Archie, look at my boobs. And Veronica's like, look at mine. Then he runs off and he's like, hot dog, and he's chasing some other girl. I'm like, wow, that's family-friendly comics. I just don't understand,
I guess, how like they're still best friends, and
yeah.
Compared to Sabrina Archie stories, then.
Because there's magic in it?
Yeah, maybe
is that enough?
Sabrina?
Because like magic, there's not always going to be magic in it. Like there's fantastical things. Like the next story, there's really no. Alan's not really in the next one.
It's more hijinks.
No spoiler, but Alan's not really doing much.
We're killing him off in the first page.
Remember what we said about dying characters?
Remember we said he was 211?
But it's like that's kind of my issue right now is I do not know what to cross sell it as. I don't want to say Harry Potter because that's more of like solving mysteries.
And it's Wizard School too.
And Wizard School.
So it's not.
And it's more wizardy. And this isn't.
It's more youth. And these characters are like the youngest character in this is maybe 16.
Yeah.
I look at it like the royal siblings are like 16 years old.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Marcus is like 17 maybe, 18, and the wizard's 211. So
it's a great dynamic.
This guy hanging around with these teens. Or it's whatever age you want them to be.
Yeah, I never really think about it. I just
same with pronunciations. It's like it's whatever you want it to be.
Well, it is Alan Grimrick show.
Okay,
so.
Alan
So yeah, like we gotta work on this. If anyone watching who has read, if you can think of anything that like ding in your head that this reminded you of, like this is kind of like, bleh, Like as much as I want to say, like the Slayers,
people
like
are saying
some
things
animes.
that I've never heard of too.
What?
So I'm like,
crap. What are they saying?
It really just depends.
Blazing Dragons is familiar.
I know
what was
Blazing
that?
Dragons, but I don't know Dave the Barbarian.
No, I don't either. TV shows.
I had friends of mine worked on Blazing Dragons. It's funny.
The more I think about it, I think Asterix and Obelix is pretty good because like their magical element was like the wise druid guy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like the whole series was full of magic. Like he gave him like the power juice.
And I do
in
think
that Popeye kind of way.
Also like kind of like.
What?
Really irate geriatrics. No, it's not geriatrics. Who was the wizard in Asterix?
He wasn't an angry fellow though. He was kind of
the druid.
He was stern. Alan's a dick.
Yeah.
He's a dick, but he's an honor-bound dick because he will always do. Like you'll find out later episodes, like the prince will say, like Alan, do this, and he'll be like, and he does it. Mm-hmm. Like he's basically somehow honor-bound to the kingdom for whatever reason.
Yeah, he's
kind of like Chewbacca
he's not
or something.
Bad guy. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, he's just a jerk. So that's what I gotta work on. This is what you guys got to work on too on your stories. So going back, 30-second elevator pitch, shorter if possible.
Yeah.
Your regular pitch, which I believe you guys can figure that out, and the cross sell. This meets that. It sounds simple.
Some reviews. The character interactions remind me of 30 Rock or How I Met Your Mother, but this doesn't feel like a useful answer. I compared it a bit to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but in a medieval setting. Geriatrix is the druid. Okay, thank you.
His name was Geriatrix, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought Geriatrix was the little old man who was married to the super hot lady.
I don't remember that guy.
Yes.
I have to read. I honestly got to read more of that too. I used to read it. We only really had like 3 or 4 books as kids, and then you probably found more later. But I didn't read those ones.
As soon as I could buy comics.
I knew there was one with like a giant baby or something.
No, it wasn't giant. The cover.
On the cover it was. I don't know. All right, it wasn't giant.
Gatafix is the druid.
Gatafix.
Yeah, because you go to him to get your fix of potion.
How could they have translated that joke? That is so.
Ostrix is full of puns.
But like a French comic translated to English and still the puns work, or did they rewrite it?
I mean, it's like an anime where it's like you're trying so hard to figure out how to make this joke work, and it's all puns and I see that in Ranma all the time, where we'd be like, I don't know what these puns are.
No, the puns are pretty bad often.
Hard.
I still, to this day, my favorite worst Japanese translated pun was it wasn't in like a notable comic, like it was in this when the boom happened and everyone was making anthologies and shit, and it was this one horribly printed one, but the joke was the character's name is Yo. And the joke was in the morning, the girl will say, "Oh hi yo," like good morning, "Oh hi yo," but emphasis on yo, ha ha ha. Fun. So in English, they just ruined it. And she's like, "Good yoning."
I'm like, she should have been like yo.
And I'm like, yeah, perfect. Honestly, yo would have worked just as well.
I'm like, that would have been so much more perfect.
Good yoning.
Yeah.
Like.
Hey yo.
Yeah, hey yo. I think I thought that was better. Like, hey yo. Kermit the Frog here or something. Just like, I'm just like, wow, they tried. Pretty brutal. So yeah, these are all. You can't just be a creator anymore. That's the deal. You've got a social network. You've got to, unless you like have someone on your team who's like your social person. Because I honestly
what about
feel
people who are really shy.
Well, we're just screwed. We got nothing.
You can always improve, because I am a pretty shy person, but I am getting better.
Well, this is why I want to tie you in for my third day story. So after going to the panel and rethinking everything, then I was like, you know what, I want to meet this guy at his table. I didn't want to go the Saturday because I knew it was going to be swarmed, because that room was just full of people who were all eager. Just us, like people who just want to make comics and stuff.
I find that happens to me too, though, where it's like, people come to the table and they'll be really shy to talk to me. They're like, don't be shy, come say hey. But I will lurk in front of other people's tables and just not be able to talk to them, just because I'm so, like I say every time, like I've talked to Becky Cloonan before. She's really nice, but I will still stand at her table and just kind of stare.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I wanted to meet Anthony Del Colo of just to kind of honestly thank him. I didn't want to meet him for any other reason. Like, I want to make it big. I was just like, I just want to thank you, because your panel gave me pause, if that's the right. Like, I was just like, wow, I had to rethink everything. And I spent that night, and even the night I started rethinking my styling tactics. Like, I dressed up nice for the third day.
Yep.
Because on the first day I was wearing this jackass hat.
So part of our podcast too about being creepy at Artist Alley is I'd be off just doing other things at the con, panels or interviews, and he's pretty much the way he looks now, which is still a little shaggy, but if you know him, and I think
if you know me, it's cool.
But
maybe.
My table has a lot of cutesy girl art, and then if you're
a lot,
so little girls would want to come to the table to look at it, and then moms would look at him all scruffy.
Yeah, with my hat and like I look like I just woke up or got off weed and stuff. Yeah, and so like I'm like hawking my Sailor Moon to the kids. So like I'm always thinking like, damn, I thought kids would enjoy this comic, but it's like mothers won't let them get near it. Frick. So I'm thinking like image, thirst is nothing, image is everything. The inverse of our Sprite ads or whatever they were. Mm-hmm. It's all about image. So I'm like, what? I'm dressing up like I always bring nice clothes to a con just in case it's like a party or a gala. So I bring like my black shirt, my 8-bit tie, and my my newsy hat.
You classes
So I'm like, you know what? We're going to sell some books Thursday. I put on the hat, put on the tie, my nice shirt. It was long sleeves, but I don't care. I'm doing this, and like, I don't know if I made much of a difference because there's still lots of girly books and pictures and stuff. But I made a few more sales and I had all this confidence. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dress up nice. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to do the hard sell. I'm going to like tell them what the book's about. Okay, good. Now I wanted to meet Anthony just to thank him, give him a book. So I went over to this table and then I left. Because I was scared, and then
you just walked right by.
I walked by Susan. I'm like, well, no, this is the thing. I walked by him, and then I saw him do this. Like he wasn't looking at me. Just in general, he was like kind of tired. He went like, did this thing. I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, if you're going up to an artist,
ugh.
maybe if you know they're going to be back and they look really exhausted.
Yeah, I didn't want to approach him because he looked like he's like enough of this con. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So I just kind of beelined around him, and then I hung around like one wall away from his table and like was pacing. And thinking to myself, like, just trying to memorize the elevator pitch and all this stuff. And then, like, not even by the time I was going to go there, like, I walked by the table again, and he got up to leave. I'm like, oh, no. And the con's going to end in, like, an hour. Maybe like 2 hours, con's going to end. I'm like, ah. And so I kind of hung around for 20 minutes to see if he's going to come back from where we went. He didn't. And I had to get back to the table because Katie had an interview coming up. So I'm like, oh, I'm a coward. So I came back to my table and I was just like, ugh. And I'm like, oh, I missed my chance. And Katie's, I don't even know if she's coming back from this interview. Because the interview was like in the last hour of the con.
Yeah, I maybe shouldn't have arranged it for there, but it seemed it was the only time I could get away.
Yeah. And now I was kind of torn because I'm like, I do want to like do my like last minute sell lots of book things, but I also want to pick up my last minute on sale things, but I also want to meet Anthony. I have like an hour left to do all these things. So I'm like, and then Katie finally comes back. I'm like, okay, you know what? Game on. Let's do everything in one foul swoop.
He's just got this energy, just like, I have to go!
So first, I beeline over to the Geek Chic table, which we talked a bit about them. They were the purveyors of fine, I don't know if I have it here. No, I don't know. I don't think I have it here. Fine wooden mustaches.
Those were fine
which are all over my
mustaches.
Twitter if you want to see. And I wanted to buy some more for some friends, so I ran up. I had this like long, like kind of like I wasn't trying to like get a sale. I was just we got into this big like seller chant. Like I came with my mustache. And I'm like, oh, good sir, I'd like to purchase another fine selection of mustaches from you. And like he returns, and we just got in this banter.
Talks to you that way. You can't stop bantering.
We just did the salesman banter, and I bought my mustaches. I'm like, got my mustaches. Check one, and then, like the drum music starts because I'm like got this rhythm going. Like it's a montage. And then I run over to the next booth because I want to get a top hat, and I go there, and I'm like. The top hats were originally $75. I'm like, how much are they now? They're like $55. I'm like, sold. And I put on the top hat. I'm like, good. And I beeline all the way down to Anthony's table. I hide the top hat because I didn't want to be wearing it because I look like a jackass. And I'm like, just went for it. I'm like, hi, I was at your panel. It was really inspiring. I'm from Toronto too. Hey, Toronto, where you from? I know where that is. All my friends are there. They're all getting married. Isn't that weird? Hey, how's it going? So here's the book. And he's like, oh, I want to test out the pitch on you. I did the pitch. And he said it was good. I'm like, awesome. And he's like, what's a cross sell? I'm like, I have no clue. But and then I'm like, this copy's for you. And he's like, oh, can you sign it? And I'm like, oh, we pre-signed it just in case it wasn't time. And he said, but it's not personalized. I'm like, you really want me to personalize? I can't handwrite the crap.
He's got my writer can't write.
Anthony, keep the dream going or whatever. Gave him the book. And I'm like, boom, 3 for 3. I'm charged. Working my way back. But 3's never good enough. I know 4 is an unlucky number in China, but I'm still like, whatever. I walked by the booth that was doing the Connect, get the free high chew stuff, and I'm like, hey, did I win anything? And they're like, no, you didn't. But no, the winners came to get their prizes. Here's a whole pack of peach-flavored high chew for you, son. I'm like, yeah, it is.
High chew. Now, when you say 4 is an unlucky number, is it your fault our plane was delayed by 5 hours and we ended up in Hamilton? No,
that's a different story. To conclude,
you needed high chews.
No, to conclude, that's a different story. But everything went super swell on. I just did 3-4 hit combo. Got my book to the guy. Said thank you. I had Katie's card in it because I don't have a card. But there you go. Con. So things to learn, things to do. I have a top hat and a wooden mustache. I just need a monocle, and I'll be ready to look snappy for the next con for TCAF. Woo. I'll have my top hat and monocle.
In 2 weeks, he will have his top hat and monocle.
Excellent. Sorry, that was a long story, but I just want to get it all out there because that wasn't in the podcast.
Lardis is saying Air Canada was bad luck this weekend.
We had a bad storm,
and it was bad luck because of the island as well. Did you buy the top hat from Blonde Swan?
Yes, I did. Actually, who is this? This is...
Oh, Elliot. Is this Lara D'Souza? Oh. Hi, thanks for watching.
Yeah, I went to Blonde Swan.
Excellent. Hi, thank you for joining us.
I had my eye on the top hat like all weekend, but I'm like, I don't want to buy it yet.
Yeah, he was... Oh, that was a really pretty booth.
Yeah, no, Blonde Swan was nice. There was another booth across may not across from him in the next aisle over that had like Assassin's Creed looking outfits that Katie wanted, but she ended up buying it.
Yeah, there was really beautiful. It ended up being $350, and I was like,
Yeah, but you didn't go to dicker it down. You should have gone Sunday and been like, son.
Leather top. Did they have leather top hats too?
They did. That one was like $90 though, and it was really tall.
Yeah.
It was $90. I'm like, I don't want to spend that much. But they did have goggles, but I didn't have time to buy one because I want to put a pair on, like goggles. But I'll probably find those at like some other con.
They had beautiful hats at that shop.
Yeah, no, that was lovely.
One's of the best stuff. I love just the Steampunk Incorporation because it's just all this amazing clothes and goggles and brass, this and that, and yeah, so cool.
I think there. Actually, just a quick segue. There's a new from Bethesda. There's a new kind of steampunk game coming out. Oh. That's kind of to me, it looks like a mix of like Assassin's Creed, Mirror's Edge, and BioShock, set in a steampunk world, and it looks pretty badass. It's called Dishonored, I believe. There's a trailer out. Ooh. Check that out. I'm excited. Any hoozle. You should be wearing your top hat. I don't know how I transport that on my bike. Today was my first day of biking to save on with a helmet.
Yeah, no. We believe in helmets.
We believe in safety first, especially.
Every time I ride, rarely do I ride without a helmet, and that's usually when there's not one available. I hear mom and dad just like, you in my head. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, I feel like a badass.
I do. It's like some people like turn to like fighting to feel bad.
I take off my helmet. Like, oh shit.
And I feel bad.
Because like our parents would like see people riding their bike and holding their helmet. He's like, well, what's the point of bringing it at all if you're not gonna wear it? He's gonna fall down and break his skull.
If you ever, you will break your skull.
That's still in the back of my mind. But for me, like, considering like I have had the opportunity to get my bike stuck in the tracks and I did a full flip and landed.
Flipped over your handlebars.
Like, I'm pretty cool having a helmet. And helmets are cool now because now we're all wearing the skater helmets because we're like, screw bike helmets. Because in the 90s, they tried to make helmets cool. It's all like wind-shaped and air holes. But now it's just like, yeah, skater helmets are in. So I'm like, okay.
I don't know why.
You can slap a sticker on that bad boy.
It's like if you try and make it aerodynamic and cool, it's like meh, but if it looks like a bowling ball.
Yeah. No, because 90s bike helmets are like the fanny pack of today. It's like, they're just not cool. Even though I argue fanny packs would still work pretty well. But just quickly, TV Dinner says, thanks for the long story, Shaggy. It was really interesting. From a creator's point of view, yes, that's why I told it.
Yeah.
Because this is a show of learning.
We don't just rant all the time.
We don't just hate movies here on the program.
We sometimes give nuggets of advice as we discover them. Because we're just figuring this out ourselves, too.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't know anything.
Silly Kingdom's our first self-published book.
Yeah, we should have done this like years ago.
I've got friends who, I didn't discover webcomics until college, and I've had friends who were doing it for years at that point, so we're figuring this out as we go, and hopefully sharing it.
Yeah, sharing the experience, so we can all learn from it.
Edumacation.
Is that what it is? What's the stack hat style helmets? I don't know if I know that.
Is that like top hat helmets?
Just back it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm couldn't bring a top hat. I was thinking of it too, but I'm like, I was already carrying a camera, because I'm filming a project, which I don't want to tell you about anything yet.
Can I hear about it?
No, I think I already told you. But we're going to be uploading it the week of TCAF. So we're going to be editing Hardcore next week, but it's going to be a video for all you comic fans.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's a series of videos, slightly interactive, not really. But, yeah, it's we're almost done filming it. We just got to do some more filming tomorrow, and I'll probably do a bunch of pickups throughout the week, but hopefully this will be another educational project of some sort, which I can't tell you guys about yet, just because, you know, I always promise things and they never happen. So.
Yeah, we do feel bad about that.
I do that quite a bit.
We get excited and then can't.
Yeah, I do gradually catch up to all the things I never did. Like if there's like radio books on tape and stuff I was supposed to do, I do finish them because I have finished all these Shaggy Reads Twilights I've owed anyone.
Do you mean you're not doing any more Shaggy Reads Twilight?
I don't know if I can.
For those joining us, he's reading the Twilight books and
slowly
kind of ad-libbing as he goes.
Well,
I say it's a treat for fans and haters alike.
Yeah, we'll look
curious.
Go to uberfriendship.com, look up the Shaggy Reads section, and there's Shaggy Reads Twilight. All 13 chapters are available.
Best Edward voice.
Yes. It's fun for lovers and haters. Donate you booze to get you through. Yeah, that would help, actually.
He needs it, we bought.
That does help. I found ciders work pretty nicely.
No, you have to listen to the pod
thing
to hear the Edward voice. If you go to uberfriendship.com,
yep,
you'll find
there's a tab that says Shaggy's whatever's. shenanigans. I don't know what it is.
Don't say, oh, it's so easy. You can just listen to the
Yeah,
whole
Chris.
thing.
And if I'm correct, I saw in an earlier post he said he hasn't even read Silly Kingdom yet.
No. He hasn't read Asterix.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm saving you, Chris. Fluxbox will buy you a yam burrito.
Oh, really?
And Weebot says, seriously, Chris, listen to them all. They're amazing. They are amazing.
No, Chris says I was right. He hasn't read Silly Kingdom yet.
Oh,
That's
Chris.
shocking.
Oh, Chris.
That is just shocking.
Oh, dear.
Chris?
Come to TCAF.
Hear that. Yeah. Come to TCAF. Get your coffee.
Yeah.
Son.
Art student. Yeah, I understand. I have been there.
My wife teaches grade 7 and had to read them. Wait, what?
Had to read.
Twilight to the grade
Twilight.
7s? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd shoot myself.
There's.
I'm not joking.
He's sending his wife the link for it. There is a little bit of language.
Yeah, hopefully your children.
The first.
Oh, actually,
you
to get
start
you.
the podcast with like the most
No,
horrendous
to get you
word.
into it, the very first cuss is like as
forward,
offensive.
It's a forward by J.K. Rowling's, who's just.
It's the most
very
offensive
bitter.
thing I could say.
Yeah. So.
It gets you into it.
It gets yeah.
The Edward voice grows around the 3rd episode. He gets better, but the first
Yeah.
2, I was still trying to figure it out. So.
Okay, not for the kids, for her therapeutic.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's quite therapeutic. I will say now, the only kind of like silver lining of doing this crap is it did kind of teach me how to develop like vocally characters and kind of learn, you know, who they should be, which is I find is interesting for people who do like books on tape. They must have read the book a first time to get the characters, because I kind of did it, and as I went along, I made them better. I think there's some characters right out of the gates. I'm like, this is your voice.
And
like,
you can't pronounce Carlisle.
I don't know. Is it Carousel or Carlo?
Carl's is a
I was like Carousel.
Carousel.
Carcelalysis. Carlalysis. But yeah, you know, my problem with the books, as I've said to many people, is just nothing happens in them. Like, I'm already 13 chapters in, and I'm
His
so
last chapter was a
stupid
drinking
bored.
game.
Because it's like, up to chapter 6, things kind of happen, and from 7 to 13, nothing happens. And it's just, every chapter is just those two idiots having the same conversation, and then giving you a taste of next week's conversation, because they're like, next week I'm going to ask you more of the exact same questions I asked you this week. And you're like, where is the gun? Why is there no guns in Canada?
Calhoun says, I remember bloopers of James Marston reading an audiobook. And it's clear
John Marston?
Oh,
was
sorry,
it?
James Marston reading an audiobook, and it's clear he just reads straight through and goes in cold. See, I thought you did a John Marston impression.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Reading Twilight.
I didn't do John
See, also
Marston
does a really
reads
good
Twilight.
John Marston.
No, you got to play Red Dead Redemption to get that at all.
Where's your John Marston gives flowers to zombies clip?
That's actually at Uber Friendship.
That's amazing.
It was the one video we did on the Zombie Walk Day, and then we misspelled our
Yeah.
company's name.
Oh, you did not!
I didn't do it. It was a friend made the logo for us, and none of us caught that it was spelled
What
wrong.
is it?
Uber like friendship or something like that. There's like no D.
Uber friendship.
There's no D. So and from then on, Dan was always like saying in German. He's like Uber friendship. I'm like, it's not friendship. Damn it.
No, that happens.
The biggest insult you can give the Harry Potter fan is to say Twilight is better or just as good as Harry Potter.
Yeah.
At times. I'm not gonna lie, like Rowling was great on the first 4, then she got paid.
Aw, no, I thought there was great stuff in there.
There's good stuff in 5, but
I
then
will admit, though, the last book, I don't think I enjoyed it because I was reading it so fast because I didn't want anyone to spoil it. So I was
Oh, really?
Because I was
Yeah.
like, someone's going to tell me someone died and I can't let that happen. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I hold myself up in my room for
like
2 days.
I got through the last books just because it was read by the
We love, this is,
What's
who's
his
the
name?
audiobook guy?
Hello, my name is
It's
Dale, Tim Dale,
Tim
Tim
Dale.
Dale, Jim Dale, Tim Dale,
Tim Dale?
something like that. He's also the narrator of Pushing Daisies, if you ever seen it, which
Yeah.
makes the show like 10 times more charming.
Oh,
Because his narrative is so fun. Like he does
He's
an
a
awesome
great
job.
voice.
Like that's why I'm wondering about him. Like did he like read the whole Harry Potter and he sat there being like, well, Jim Dale thinks Hagrid sounds like, oh Harry, what are you doing here with Muggles?
And Hermione?
And Hermione goes, ooh, Harry, ooh, we can't do that, Harry, ooh.
Do Ron,
and
Ron.
Malfoy is a prick.
Yeah.
I don't. Ron is more like, no, I'm Ron Weasley. Yeah, I'm Ron.
He's the best. I love Tim Dale.
And Snape is like, Harry. Yeah, Jim Dale, if that's his name.
I think it's Jim Dale.
He reads a good book.
Yeah.
He made Harry Potter fun. Like I read the first 3, 4, and half of 5, and then I re-listened to them all again because his voice is so great.
I know.
Oh man. Oh, Harry, we can't do that. It's dangerous. Ooh, no. Ooh. Ooh, no. It's the same in all those things. Like in the Star Wars books, it's like, then Leia came to Han. Ooh, Han, no, we can't do that, Han, no.
I grew up reading the Star Wars audiobooks.
By Timothy Zahn.
And I'll buy all of them. And my favorite is just these guys. Anytime they do a woman's voice, it's just instantly like, just like up a pitch and very like.
Versus my woman voices, which is getting in the elevator, me lovelies. Or, once again, the forward by J.K. Rowling in the first chapter of Shaggy Reads Twilight.
Which is crazy, so.
The last forward, if I was ever to do the whole book, was going to be by Stephanie Meyer herself.
Oh.
No, Orson Scott Card reads the 10th episode opening. Yeah. Yeah, I did that.
Amazing.
What a dick.
Oh, because this started because your friend was reading you Ender's Game.
Yes, that was the catalyst, if you will. A friend of mine was like, you haven't read Ender's Game yet? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't read books. And he's like, oh, I'll read it for you. And so he borrowed a microphone, and he read Ender's Game to me. And I'd listen to them, like, while I was at work doing animation stuff. And it's like, Ender Wiggin then said, we've got to get those fracks or whatever. Voices. Yeah, he didn't do too many voices, but at least it was, like, discernible enough that he's like, Colonel voices. Claptrap, or whatever his name was, then said, oh, friggity diggity, Ender.
Flux Fox says he'd like to hear you do Hitchhikers.
It's funny you say that, because back in college, I got the Hitchhikers radio play book with the whole script, and I actually recorded the first episode with a friend of mine who was big on doing British accents and stuff. Like, he did Monty Python in high school performances. Like, I'd like to have an argument, please. Like, he did that whole thing, probably. And, like, I myself could have done that, too, but I never was really... Even though I was in drama class, I was never big on performing. I like being more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Discworld, yes. Discworld audiobooks are fantastic. Yeah. There's 3 main readers, as far as I know. And the main comparison is how they read Death's voice.
Our favorite Death is...
There's a deep-voiced Death who goes, there is no justice, there's just us.
I like that guy.
And then there's a more high, whispery Death guy who also read the one with the witches, though, and he did a good job with Ashme.
Oh, yeah.
He's my cat, Ashme.
He's a really amazing Nanny Og.
Nanny Og and Granny Weatherwax.
I love the
witches he did their voices really nicely. And then there was a woman reader, I don't know any of their names, but she also did one of the ones with the witches. I think the one with the witches I heard, the first one actually, was the one making fun of the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
It was called... it wasn't Mort.
No, Mort was the first one I listened to.
I think the opera one...
the art. I found an audiobook in the library, and it was like, it wasn't the art of...
The art book.
No, it wasn't the guy who does them now. It was kind of the more kind of moldy, kind of like...
Very
I don't
troll...
want to say ugly, because I like it.
Like kind of...
But kind of like...
Classic elven, trolly, chubby...
Like morphy, foldy... Kind of
very heavy, rosy cheeky.
Yeah, and I was looking at his art and was just like, I am very curious about this. So
yeah,
Mort I really liked, and then Sorcery.
What was the opera one called? It wasn't called Phantom of the Opera. It was like called. No. It was a pun
Masquerade.
on Masquerade. Yeah, I listened to that one. Those were fun. Those were excellent readings.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
it was funny because it was just like, yeah. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything. If you haven't listened to Discworld stories, I highly recommend them. They are so good. And yeah.
Kellhound's an audiobook junkie, apparently.
Oh, excellent. Well,
then you have to listen to the original Hitchhiker's Guide read by Douglas Adams himself.
I think Douglas Adams does it best, so...
He read it so... Like, I think Stephen Fry read it as well, but I've heard Douglas Adams' version, and it's just jaw-dropping. It's so good.
Yeah, I love his Arthur Dent. He's just so...
Yeah, his pacing. Like, basically, that's the one thing I always wonder, is, like, when you read an author's book, and not in their voice, like, you don't know how they said certain things. Because it was kind of weird. Like, the one major example I have of that is I went to a panel from, I forget what's her name, Hark a Vagrant.
Kate Beaton?
Kate Beaton. I went to her panel, and she was reading some comics out, but she read them kind of differently than I heard them. Mm-hmm. Like, my one case was in the Nancy Drew one, where, like, Nancy Drew's like, we're burying the money here. I don't trust the bank. I don't trust anyone. And then he shoots her friends, and one of her friends goes, Nancy, no! kind of thing. But the way she read it was like, Nancy, no! She kind of like, she's more... Kate Beaton's really aggressive in her readings, I find. Like, how she performs, she's, like, really aggressive with her punchlines.
Whereas you like to be more like...
I'm more like... I'm Nancy, no! Like, I
But
thought
if
that
someone's
was...
being shot, they're not gonna be like, oh no!
Yeah, well, this was funnier in my mind that way. So it's kind of weird how, like, the author's version does inform, like, how the joke is presented, you know.
I had another example of that, but I can't think of it.
It's like, in my mind, I always thought this was...
Well,
or
it's
or
like
how the song was sung.
Or like Battle Angel Alita, how we thought his name was Ido, and then his name is Ido.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like,
Ido kind of sucks. I like Ido. There's something nicer about the name Ido.
But then it's like, if so, yeah.
Like Fido Dido.
Yeah, maybe it was like Fido Dido.
He's just a free spirit of Sprite.
Oh, Chris the host says, I thought Nancy Drew was a good guy. Why would she shoot her friends? If you go to Hark a Vagrant, what Kate Beaton has
makes
done
lots more
is
sense.
she takes the front cover of a book and then she'll kind of riff on it.
And do like 3 panels that continue what the main panel is.
Yeah, and her humor is pretty funny and dark, so it's like, what was another example of a
well, there's a great one with another Nancy Drew one. There's a picture of her and a pilot, like in the airplane. And she's flying with the pilot, and I forget what she says. She's like, now to solve the mystery. And the pilot looks at her and he's like, wait, you're not my you're not my co-pilot. You're not like a pilot at all. Then the next shot is her like falling out the plane.
Just like parachuting
with
out.
a parachute.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the best one, sorry, is there's a picture of her with bagpipes and a kilt. And she's like, now to solve the Scottish mystery or whatever. And her friend's like, Nancy, we're not in Scotland. We were never in Scotland. It's so funny.
Yeah, go to harkavagrant.com.
Yeah, look up Hark a Vagrant or Kate
Google,
Beaton.
Hark a Vagrant or Kate Beaton.
Nancy Drew. And there's like,
really
it's usually a collection of like 4 of them. And I think she did that twice. Her other of my favorites is Mystery Solving Teens, which her description is like, there's all these mystery solving shows with these teens, and it's so unrealistic because real teens don't give a shit. And the whole thing is like the principal sets these teens on these missions, and they're just like, they go out back and just smoke, and then they come back and they're like, yeah, the baker did it or something, and the principal's like, I knew it. And then the baker's like, damn you teens, and they're just like smoking.
Getting arrested.
It's so funny. Mystery solving teens are the best. They're like, it was this or something. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's so good.
Anytime she does like cover iterations, like or her like summaries of
Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby, yeah. Like, where's the baby? What baby? And he's sitting on top of the baby.
Pretty silly.
There's fun stuff.
Although I haven't read Gatsby, so I don't totally get it.
Or like the Edgar Allan Poe jokes and stuff. Like, he was getting like fan letters from who's writing Poe fan letters, and like, we should like sail in an air balloon together and stuff.
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
They're all good.
Look up Kate Beaton's comics. They're dry, they're funny, they're historical, educational. There's some Canadian stuff. You'll learn about Canadian history, which there truly isn't enough in our medium, because my goal.
Strong female characters.
Was it is that a comment there?
Yeah. Strong female characters.
Strong.
Or 90s businesswomen.
That was the strong female characters was. That was great sex, but we are done now. And then she throws the man out the window.
It's so silly. Check her out.
But I definitely feel like in our media, because like even us growing up in little Canada, we grew up with all the Tiny Toons and stuff, and they all make fun of, and Simpsons, and they all make fun of American history and stuff, and so most of our knowledge of historical, like, military or political figures comes from cartoon comedy, and so it's always Abraham Lincoln,
like,
friggin'
we know
Washington,
more about Washington than I guess our own,
and Franklin, like all these characters from American history, and we don't know nothing about our American like figures, like because our Canadian, sorry, because there you go, because like no one made fun of them.
Are American
whatever.
figures.
May as well be, but like we just don't know anything because no one made fun of them as kids, and we never even had like the John A. McDonald puppet, and he likes to do what he does, because we don't know anything about like. It got to the point that like, me and my friend David had to like make up all this crap about who's the guy on our $5 bill? John. There's John A. McDonald, and then there's
I know
Laurier, Wilfrid Laurier, right?
Yeah.
He's on the 5.
I know the Queen's
on 20. So when we were in Ottawa, we had to we started making up all these stories about Wilfrid Laurier, and it just got dumber. Like right now, as it stands, apparently he's still in space watching over us. And he returns to take one sacrifice. Because it's just like if I were to make a series for television or the web, like animated, I'd want to like delve into making fun of Canadian historical figures.
Yeah, I mean, you make fun of them with facts, sort of.
I just want them to be known. Like the fact that I can't remember who's on the 100.
Borden.
Is that Borden with the mustache?
I only know because someone made a comment like, "Give me the Bordens, baby." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's kind of catchy."
Oh, who's on the 50? Like William Wolfe Mackenzie.
The 50?
Yeah, the fat
This is
guy
really
on the
sad.
50. William
I know
Wolfe.
we're getting a dinosaur on our quarters.
It's glow in the dark.
We're getting. Okay, if people don't look at our money like it's play money enough, because
God.
it's purple and pink
And stupid,
blue,
and it's got
I love it.
It's got shiny leaves on
We're
it.
getting a quarter with a glow in the dark dinosaur.
Glow in
on
the
it.
dark dinosaur
That's
quarters,
awesome.
because Canada money's not ridiculous. We got the loonie, the toonie, and now the dinosaur.
A penny is just like a penny.
I want to rename the quarter the dinosaur now.
Okay, in this sense though,
Oh
do you
my
know who's
God.
on U.S. money? I know
Okay.
Benjamins.
So the Benjis.
Is it Benji? I know. What does the mask say? Have you seen
Oh,
Friends?
Jackson.
And Jackson?
Yeah, yeah,
Who's
yeah.
Jackson?
Lincoln's on them too, isn't he? He's
Lincoln's-
hanging out on the penny.
Lincoln's on your penny.
Who's on the one?
Washington?
Is it? Is he just on the one? Is he common currency?
Lincoln?
I don't know. Some dude's on the one.
Okay, Lincoln's the vampire slayer.
There's fives, and then there's like we were just playing with American money recently.
Yeah.
We
We gotta
still
be
have it
careful
here?
because it's like when I hand people back ones at the convention, it's like, don't hand back a 20. 'cause
Yeah, that's
it's
the
the
problem
same
with you
color.
guys. Like all your bills are the same color. I'm like, dude, when you color code your money,
Gene says Washington's on the one.
good.
Thank you.
I'm glad.
He's number one.
Well, here's a little thing for you guys. So most part, we have like the queen. No, the queen's on the 20. She's on the back of all our quarters.
Yeah.
And all our coins, the queen shows up. Regardless if there's dinosaurs on the other side. The queen will always be on one side.
Yeah.
But like later, when the bills, our currency got like rebranded, it's all like these Canadian Tire moments. So like the 5 is like kids playing hockey on the ice. And the 20 is like geese flying and stuff. Who the hell's on the 50?
Ours?
Yeah, I thought there's one guy in Canadian history whose name is like Wolf Lion Mackenzie or something messed up. Like he will kill you. That's his like persona.
Is that his like motto? Family
On
motto?
the 50 it says he will fuck you up.
Okay,
Why
we
not?
have an answer for American money.
Oh,
So
what's up?
Washington 1's, Lincoln's on 5,
Okay.
Hamilton's 10, Jackson's on 20.
Jackson.
Jackson, Grant's 50, and Franklin's on the
Grant.
100. Thank you, Calhoun.
Cool. Let's go through our history. So on the 5s we got Laurier. On the 20 it's the Queen. On the
We used to
50
be on
it's
the
the
2. Who got voted off? Because we used to have a 2.
Oh, we had the 2 bill. I
Who's
know
the brown
there was
one?
loons on the other side because we love animals.
Bronze.
It was kind of browny red or reddy red, brown. Who the hell was on that? I think it was just the Queen again, maybe. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
I
got
think it's
unoriginal. Yeah. And then the 50, and then there's hundreds, which we never see because no one accepts 50 or hundreds in Toronto anyway. So, I should make a note of that.
Oh, yeah, you should tell people not to try
I gotta
to
tell
pay for
people-
stuff with $100 bills.
And me just saying that kind of gave away what our new video's about.
And if you're paying attention, you
We get pieced all together. We had a $2 bill. Yeah, we did.
we have plastic bills?
Apparently.
Huh.
Apparently we have like $1,000, but like that's not really in circulation. Can't go to a KFC with like 1,000,
Buy a pack of gum.
whatever that is. Oh, we have pennies. We're getting rid of our pennies. We're sick of pennies.
Sick
We're
of
like
dates
pennies are
about
bullshit.
pennies.
They cost too much to make, and no one likes them. You find more on the street, glued to the ground as practical jokes.
Ew, yeah. I don't even want to pick them up anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, we got fun money. We got fun bucks. Our glow in the dark dino dollars are gonna be awesome.
I am excited. we had quarters with little red poppies in the middle of it for a time.
Oh yeah, we do. We get nice coins every now and then. Like for coin collectors, I'm sure they're gonna want these. But I just want mass circulation of dino dollars. We're such a cute country.
I love it. I like being here.
It's fun. What else is going on? What time is it actually? We've been at it.
8:40.
8:40. It's been over an
Should we go
hour.
till 9?
Well, yeah, we could
Give us 10
start.
minutes.
No one has anything interesting to say.
Oh, we've just run out of things to say.
A few interesting things. Speaking of, you said something about zombies. Who likes running? Who likes running for their lives? Was a thing called Run for Your Lives, the 5K zombie run that's been around America for a little bit. Boston's coming up. It's coming to Toronto in September.
Oh.
Boom! Run for Your Life, 5K zombie run. It's what it sounds like, but more. It's obstacle course. It's survival. It's zombies.
Oh,
I am
boy.
damn excited. I am going to get in shape for this. I am going to survive. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How fast do these zombies move?
I don't know. Some look like they're like Some look like Romero zombies, and other looks like Left 4 Dead zombies. Or 28 Days Later zombies.
Romero zombies, fast zombies?
No.
No,
Classic Romero
zombies.
is like the numbers. But these guys are like reaching out. Because how it works is you run, and you have like 3 red strips hanging out your belt, and they're grabbing for them.
Awesome. It's like that animal survival game.
Yeah, basically.
I love that.
So, but you also get like a human sacrifice on your team too, who you can like throw him at the zombies to like distract them. So, I'm looking forward to it. And it's the same my friend is doing that.
Nice.
It's showing up in different cities. I'm excited. I don't know. There's a video on the website, so check that out. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy as that in Toronto, but our map shows this big radius of a park with question marks all around it.
Which park
like
is
12
it
of them. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever been to that park. It looks like it's somewhere like
park?
either west or something, or way north. Really out of the way of the core, I'm assuming, because if the video is any indication, they're going to be like setting up like net climbing and hay mazes and blood pools and stuff.
That actually sounds really fun, but I have super weak ankles. Like, I'll start running.
Oh yeah, there's mud. There's a lot. The finish line is you slide under a metal fence on mud.
So fun.
Yeah, it looks ludicrous.
You can spectate, right? Maybe
you have to pay to spectate, but and it's showing.
Free to run?
No, you have to pay to run too. But
what if you're a zombie?
I think it's paid to be a zombie. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Well, no, because they got to have the funds to like make it happen. Also,
Black Ice Angel says, "Do the zombies have strips so you can kill them before they kill
I don't think
you?"
so, because there's
not.
a ton of people doing this run, so they're just like reaching out the crowd. Like it's gonna be nuts. So this is like, and also there's different like slots like when you want to go. Like, do you want to run in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon? You know. So I'm curious, like, what's a good time to go?
And is it the same zombies or do they get fresh zombies?
Well, the website says they never get tired, so we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Sounds amazing. I think I'll go check it out. Katie, you could run it in kitten heels and a pencil skirt. Oh, there you go. Will do. We'll just like shuffle.
So go to the website and see if it's showing up in your city, because there's a good like 12 cities listed there. I think Toronto's the first Canadian one though, so I added that to my Facebook. I want to get a group together of people who want to do it, because I don't want to go alone, because you die alone, right? Fight together, die alone.
I don't want to be the one in heels who falls because she's stupid. Come on. Oh, no!
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear some good hiking boots.
Yeah.
I think I want to do this, even if I fail. I think it's fun.
Other zombie fun stuff that I wish was more incorporated into this. Go to the guys from Rooster Teeth, who you may know from Red vs. Blue. They also had a thing called game something. It was basically like testing game things in real life. And the funnest episode was the zombie survival episode, where they got like a field of like 200, 300 people to all go towards Jeff and what's his face, who were hiding out at like a house loaded with Nerf guns, with like thousands of bullets and turret guns and single shooters. And all they had to do was, if a zombie got shot, he's out. They'd leave. And all the zombies are slowly coming towards the house, towards this one like brain, like fleshy brain that was right in the front, and they just had to protect it, just to see like, can you survive a horde, you know? And it's the funnest video. It makes me so jealous that it happened. And look up, I forget what it's called, but look up Rooster Teeth and zombies and Nerf. I forget the name of that show, but it's a cool show because they test out lots of things. Like, they did a thing where they blacked out the windows of a car and mounted a camera above it. So it's like Grand Theft Auto. So you're inside the car with a monitor, and you're trying to drive the car you're in from a video game perspective around like pylons. And he said it was really hard and just impossible to do.
Oh, it looks like Chris just missed stuff because of the commercial.
Well, Chris, rewatch the episode. We're recording.
Yeah, we do record these.
We do record
if you
all
miss
of them.
anything, you can come back and watch them.
Indeed.
Because we unfortunately can't afford the non-commercial.
Yeah, no. This show doesn't make any money. We don't have any advertisements.
Yeah, and it's I think like $80 a month to have it without commercials.
I wonder what warrants like getting Ustream like betterness. Like, would we get ad revenue if like people were watching and we set up ad revenue?
I don't know.
Maybe. So that's more zombie fun stuff. Speaking of things coming to Toronto, so I talked briefly a few episodes ago about the Zelda Symphony, music of the goddess or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah.
That's coming soon. I got tickets. It's going to be a time. It's all Zelda music, but also coming back to Toronto, Video Games Live.
Which is so fun.
It's coming to Toronto as well as other cities, but that's always a good time.
It gives me chills. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I'm more of a backseat gamer, so I used to grow up watching him play.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of game stuff. I don't really play it myself, but the music, I know pretty much all the music just from having soundtracks or hearing it in the background. And yeah, it's gorgeous, the music. I think they usually start off with like a Halo.
No, it's throughout. They usually start off with like their what's a montage of a song? It's,
oh, is it?
what's that called? It's not a ballad, is it? It's
Overture.
is that no? What's it when there's when you have like multiple songs that blend all into each other? Is it an overture? What's that called? Medley? There's melody and medley. I keep mixing those up. So
medley.
Medley is the merge.
Medley.
So usually start off with the medley that has like starts with Pong, and then goes on to like Space Invaders and Tetris and stuff.
Oh, because you start with the classics.
Yeah, it's like boop.
Yeah.
Boop, and like it's like a note and like a clang on a like xylophone or something like that. So it's like blunk, blunk,
yeah.
blunk, blunk, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, you go to the Space Invaders. Jumpman.
Well, like, sort
Donkey
of.
Kong.
Donkey Kong. It was Jumpman technically, so I'm gonna give you that point. Video Games Live though is gonna be a fun time. There's cosplay contests. There's live game. People playing games live.
Frogger.
With the orchestra playing the music.
Along. People are screaming because you're killing your frogs.
Everyone has DSs. They do like, Still Alive, and everyone's like waving their iPhones and DSs in the crowd and stuff. Video Games Live is one of the funnest concert experiences because you get to dress up in your game clothes and stuff and friggin' shout at people. It's a time.
It's fun.
There's prizes, there's costumes.
It just says there's no Video Games Live around where she's at. Well, come visit a big city and make it part of your
Indeed.
travel.
I don't know if it's like near, because the very first time Video Games Live was in Toronto was also during the weekend of Fan Expo, and it was like on the first night, and me, you, and Heather went. So we both went to Fan Expo, and right after we went to Video Games Live, and we had like balcony center fronts.
It was magical.
It was like the greatest combination day ever. It was like, and I was playing like Mario Kart with people somewhere in the theater because we all had our DSs, and it was just like, it was ludicrous. It was funnest time.
And it's a really good repeat show because I've gone twice and had a really good time the second time as well.
I've gone like 3 times because there was a free show like a few years ago at Dundas Square we went to.
They had the Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
And that was so
beautiful. My God.
She
came out with the violin.
They had the girl who plays the as Link playing the violin. If you've seen her on YouTube.
Well, there's 2 videos. There's one. I don't know if it's the same girl because there's one where she plays against Navi and it's more of a comedy piece.
Okay.
There's another one with her in the snowfields, and I think that's a different person. I'm not sure though. But she came out for the live show, kind of reenacted the YouTube bit, and then she played along with the Chrono Cross soundtrack, which the opening theme of that is a beautiful piece of music.
It's just very.
It's got some nice drum work and some flute and very nice piece. So that was their encore. I think it was Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger,
which was good because they hadn't played that the first year.
Each year, like, there's some repeat, but there's also some new stuff. Like, they did Assassin's Creed this year, or past year. They did Shadow of the Colossus.
That was beautiful.
Oh, my God. There's that one piece. It's the song. It first shows up, the score, I guess, not song. But it first showed up when you first battle the bird Colossus. And you grab onto it, and then the music goes... da, 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 or whatever, Nick, you're flying around, and it's just like you're hanging. Da, 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 da. It's like, man, Colossus has a solid soundtrack too. I'd just go to a concert of that if I could. Hell, I wish they brought the Smash Bros. Melee concert to Toronto because that was in Japan, and it was the soundtrack is phenomenal. Like, I just want them to do Fountain of Dreams, Kirby Fountain of Dreams at Video Games Live. I will lose my everything if they did that because that is one of the best orchestral pieces of a video game song I've ever heard. Like it's just so epic and fighting. It's
really exciting. They do a big Final Fantasy one. Of course, everybody loses it at One Winged Angel.
Yeah, they always do One Winged Angel. That's like the Stairway to Heaven of video game songs is One Winged Angel. Freebird. You can't ask people to play One Winged Angel anymore. That's just
Did they do Kingdom Hearts?
I don't think they have yet. I don't know if they would because Kingdom Hearts, the more orchestral pieces are kind of later on, unless it's like the overture version of the theme.
That's nice. Well, they did because I think there was a whole. That was part of the montage.
Yeah, that's a good piece.
Yeah, that was part of the montage. Sorry, medley.
It's a good piece. Yeah, great piece. I was not sure which else, but man, even like the Metal Gear Solid 2 theme. Because they have a full choir backing, and that gets me every time when they go to and then they're like, oh, I'm crying, and then
and Halo gets me a bit too as well. Like it just I get like the hairs on the back of my neck. And I'm just like, oh, like it's me. music is so beautiful.
Oh, it's... Yeah, I know I have tickets for the Zelda thing, but I probably have to buy Video Games Live tickets. We should do that tonight, fuck.
Yeah, we should just get them.
I've loved that show every time I've gone. It's ridiculous. It's fun. It's just worth it. You know, yeah. Done. I gotta go get those tickets.
Yeah. Okay, we'll buy those.
What else is going on? Who's sort of retired? Someone sort of retired.
Someone who's singer.
We're almost coming up to 9 o'clock.
Got about 10 minutes.
I've just about said everything I wrote down at the last minute for this. We talked about the con, C2E2. I guess upcoming events. Speaking of which, I guess upcoming videos. So, new episode. Hopefully, I have a new episode ready to go for tomorrow. Because talking to the camera now is every Thursday. I say that now, but let's see when I fall apart. Every Thursday, new episodes of talking to the camera. I just need to make the music for tomorrow's episode because I'm trying to be a little more not using copyright crap.
Yeah.
It's hard, but you know.
Just so things don't get closed.
Yeah, it's usually I use the Ren and Stimpy incidental music, which everyone who does Gary's Mod animation uses. But it's just I kind of found that soundtrack, and I've always loved the Ren and Stimpy stock music, which is all copyright free by now, I assume, because it's all old big band pieces. Like the hurry up, which you use for all those big city educational films like Welcome to the Big City, Charlie. You're not gonna make it here, kid. You country bumpkin.
I'm talking to you.
You gotta shape up. It's that kind of crap. But new episode. Hopefully it's up. I'll probably try to upload it tonight, which will definitely be Thursday by the time it's done. But the episode itself is done. I just need music for it. So I'll just try to compose something on GarageBand.
Yeah.
Just throw together some beats or I don't know.
That'd be good. You do some good ad-libbing.
Well, it's weird because I actually went through all my... Because as much as I have notepads and stuff and that I write ideas on, sometimes I used... more than a couple of years ago, not as much anymore, but I used to compose songs or pieces. I keep saying songs, but it's always confusing me. It's score. Would you call it scores?
Score is the music.
Yeah, because whenever I'm talking about orchestral stuff, I say this song, it's no, it's this score, this piece.
Yeah, if it's a voice, I think it's a song.
I keep composing things that I'd figure someday we'd use. I made the entire soundtrack for this supposed parody anime we'd one day make.
Oh yeah, you have the incidental music where I remember meeting Chihiro.
Well, I have the main kind of theme of the series plus every iteration of that theme, the sad version and the fight version. Or the nervous version where you just keep it and it's something's wrong. Or the casual trip version or something like that. And then I have the main villain's theme. Yeah. And then I had the end credit English theme.
Oh no.
Called Fly By Chansu.
Oh no.
That I sort of wrote the lyrics to, but we have yet to make the project. This is stuff from over 10 years ago of planning that just never happened, but we always maintain someday it will. Who knows?
Yeah, we've been making stuff. We've been plotting stuff since we were kids.
It's a miracle Silly Kingdom was made at all, because even that was from 5 years ago.
It was let's make a comic, what's ready to go.
And I was I was kind of writing...
This one has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, I was kind of writing animated scripts for Silly Kingdom to pitch as a series one day, but then it's screw it, let's just make comics.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make a series based on the comics once it's successful.
Gene says, can I sing the English song? Yes, Gene, you totally can.
Well, technically this one was from one of those rocker dude guys. If you watched Berserk, the opening is the worst song ever.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
great.
put on your sunglasses.
He's how does it go? It's don't know why you're afraid. Put your sunglasses on. I'm this has nothing to do with a medieval giant sword anime.
Sunglasses didn't exist.
What? It's...
Fluxflox just bought Silly Kingdom for Chris the host.
What? How is that possible?
Thank you. I got him the digital version. Thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you, Chris, and we hope you enjoy it, Chris.
You too can buy a copy of Silly Kingdom.
Oh, thanks for the segue. What is Silly Kingdom about?
Well, so I got in an elevator, and Alan Moore came in, and he's
What is Silly Kingdom about?
I've got to get to the 13th floor where the magic and mystery lies. I've got to beat up a bloke about making the Watchmen again. But I'm curious about the booklet in which is in your hand.
Oh, no.
Could you please describe it to me so that I will understand it? And then I go, well, Mr. Moore, by the way, I hated From Hell.
Oh, no.
Silly Kingdom, Alan Grimrickshaw's 211th birthday. It's about the Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday. Usually I don't have the title in it, so that's kind of repeat. It's the It's the Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday. But when it... Babe, I will delay the elevator. Now explain to me once you're composed, my good lad. Thank you, Alan Moore. It's the Kingdom Wizard's 211th birthday, but when he discovers a plot for a surprise party, he'll do everything in his power to stop it. Because he's a jerk. So the kingdom is kind of like Asterisk and Obelix and something else that's awesome. That's called a cross sale. You can get the $4 PDF, kind of like what FluxFox just did for Chris the host.
Because he's so awesome.
And give it to your friend who does not buy our books. Or you can also put it on your digital device.
Looks good.
You can put it on iPhone, on iPad.
I wouldn't recommend reading it on an iPhone.
Don't.
I mean,
you put it on.
Panels can get really.
Apparently, the PSP is outselling the PlayStation Vita in Japan, so it doesn't work for the Vita. Put it on your PSP. Put it on your 3DS, and it's 3D. Or if you enjoy the tactile experience of carrying things with physical properties, you can also order the purchasable physical copy of this fine book. Very purchasable, I hear. And it will be shipped to you, and we'll sign it. And if you want us to personalize it, make a note.
Yeah, let us know if you want to get it as a gift for someone. We can write in it and doodle in it for you.
Yeah, it's also great because you can like put your own name in it. So like, if your chump friends are like, "I'm stealing your comics, brah," and you're like, "Nah, won't happen," because like your name's in it.
Or you can meet us at a con and then you don't have to pay any shipping.
Yeah.
And Mystique says she's waiting to buy it from us at Vancaf. So we'll be at Vancaf at the end of May.
Yeah, upcoming events. We're going to be at Well, TCAF is coming up first. We got a table on Sunday.
Yep.
On Saturday, we're just going to be bouncing around, apparently.
Yeah, Saturday we'll just be running around because I have a lot of friends in town and I'm so excited.
We're going to have a time.
Vancaf, we don't really know what we're doing yet. We haven't.
Vancaf's kind of like Chicago. We didn't plan nothing.
Yeah. Although we should get on getting a place soon, I guess.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, so...
And a flight.
Yeah. So we'll be...
Tell me how long you want to stay. Tell me how long you want to stay, and we'll figure that out.
I just need to know... figure out what my work schedule's like.
All right, we'll figure that out. I need to know how long we're staying in Vancouver.
Yeah. TV Dinner says Vancaf will be my first convention. It'll be our first time at Vancaf, and it'll be Vancaf's first time being Vancaf as well, I think. So we are all excited.
That's a good thing for Vancaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And we should all do the Grouse Mountain grind right after, where we run up a hill for 2 hours.
Is that what you did with the
Irishman?
The Irishman?
Yeah. That spry prick. He was like a mountain goat, and I was dying after 5 minutes. I already had my shirt off.
Oh.
I was sweating buckets, and I didn't have enough Gatorade. I'm so glad we didn't do that in Chicago.
I don't think there's mountains
I don't even think Chicago has a mountain.
My friend will also be selling her own comics that I color. Oh, hey. Well, yeah, definitely come by and say hey, Mystique, and we will hang out in Vancaf.
Yeah, man. We'll tell us if you have good food places. That's the only thing we care about.
I know. We really
when it
care
comes
about
to traveling.
Because if we don't have good food, then we just get like, okay. Weebob says, I forgot to ask if the Aussies you know coming to TCAF. Yeah, they are part of the caravan of comics. Pat Grant and Matt Taylor went to a comic camp with me, like almost 2 years ago in Florida. Yeah. So they will be staying at my house. And I am very much looking forward to seeing them again. They're bringing me Tim Tams.
Well, yes. Tim Tams, I'm going to bring them Tim Tams, and we can compare them.
So, unfortunately, I forgot they're here already, so they can't bring me Aussie treats.
Yeah.
But, Mystique says she knows awesome sushi Korean barbecue, but it's in Surrey. Well, that doesn't help.
Oh, I know this awesome place for burritos in L.A. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so what's going on here? Chris is saying, I hope I can finally meet you two at a con soon. Only ever actually saw Katie from far Anime North a couple of years ago. Totally not creepy.
Totally not creepy.
Yeah, I was in stealth mode because I was in Assassin's Creed, so I was just running around the con stabbing people. Or getting stabbed by people, more appropriately.
Yeah, because you were Altair?
Yeah, I was Altair, and all these Ezio's have 2 blades.
Every time I'd take a picture and we'd pose, I'd be like, now assassinate each other, ha ha ha. The other guy would move lightning fast, and he'd just be like,
I didn't have blades.
So all the photos were him just like,
getting stabbed by every iteration of Ezio.
Because they're all ready to
No
go.
respect for Altair, master assassin
yeah,
from Constantinople.
Altair whose clothes are held together by
No, he's not from
safety
Constantinople.
pins.
He's from Masayev. Actually, that's not his accent either, because it was confusing. Because in the first game, they just gave him the American accent because Desmond was like his ancestor. Then the second game, they gave Ezio an Italian accent. Then the third game, well, fourth, whatever, they revisit Altair and they gave him more of like wherever Masaev is accent, like Israeli. I don't know how to make that, but it's more like, my name is Ezio El Dottore. You killed my family. I don't like that.
Is he the one who has Uncle Mario?
It's it's me, Mario. That was one of the greatest moments in the game.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, Uncle Mario and his Bila. Cool. Anything else left to say in the chat? That's really cool. Gonna try really hard not to completely fan out when I meet you guys. Sorry in advance, says Weebot. No worries, just be cool. Honestly, like, cool. I was freaking out talking to the guy I don't even know because I haven't even read his book yet.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Anthony. And he's a good guy, but like I felt bad because I didn't have his book yet.
Pretty normal.
I should get it though.
But it's like I gotta stop freaking out when I see people because I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. So basically, if you just watch this episode, my advice is you have to have the 3-hit combo. You gotta buy a mustache, buy a top hat, then you're feeling good, then come talk to us.
Yeah.
And then you're just gonna be like, high fives, and I'm like, this kid knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Idna sleeps the sleeps.
Alright, so
she's been up since 4 a.m.
We better shut down for Idna's sake. So we'll see you guys. Is anything happening next week? Next
week,
so look forward, once again, check out uberfriendship.com if you want to listen to some, Shaggy Reads Twilight. You can also check out Shaggy Shan channel on YouTube if you want to see the newest episode talking to the camera, maybe uploaded sometime tonight, if not later tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What else we got? We got Twitter, Shaggy Shan on Twitter. We got Katie Shy on Twitter.
I'm going to be pretty quiet for the next 2 weeks just because I have to get this done, my storyboard done before TCAF. But, I mean, we'll be chatting back and forth. I'll probably be most active on Twitter. So follow me, Twitter, KT Shy.
Yep.
SHY.
Yep. Yep.
And anything else?
Nah.
You want to get some food?
I haven't eaten yet,
I'm starving.
Let's get food.
We're going to get food. So, join us next time, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, Toronto time, here, Shannon Hannigan's Live.
Yeah, it is.
We'll be here.
Probably.
I'll probably still be working.
Yep, deadlines.
And he'll be there.
Chris wants to hear the Edward voice. Dude, go to the website. Listen to like episode 3 or 4 if you want to hear the good voice.
Fluxbox, send him the audio.
Fluxbox, copy all the audio files and put them in a zip and send them to Chris. And then go to his house and turn on his computer, install his internet.
Gene says we should eat Japanese Kit Kats. Woo!
That would be good.
That'd be good.
Strawberry Kit Kats.
Yep.
All right. I'm done delaying this end.
Oh, okay. It's up to me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Ciao.
Ciao. Stop broadcast. Stop record.